Yo, what is good, my anniversary? What is good, yo? So, we got some interesting stuff and development for our boy, Seto. And I'm pretty happy with a little bit of how it's going. I kind of expected this when it comes down to this show, always kind of going the traditional training route, as you can say. But regardless of that, we're going to see probably a good amount of what Seth could actually learn from these people who are living a relatively interesting lifestyle. Wow, straight into it. Got it. With not only are they living in, right next to this kingdom or whatever, holy crap, but they're also in a situation where this area they're at doesn't like have any effects on them in the case of like the two people that are supposedly training Seth, because like the guy who saved Seth in general, kind of states, he's like, oh well, you humans are pretty ignorant when it comes down to when you don't understand something, you make something to, at least make it feel like you can understand it. Which makes a lot of sense with a lot of things that have been done uh, lately in the world, or even not even lately, but in the past as well. Just saying, like, oh, if you talk to that person over there, because we don't know much about them, you're a witch too. Like witches, and we've always jumped to a conclusion that sometimes should never be jumped to, and that's kind of what he was getting at here with the forest. It's like you guys literally think some spell is put on it, so as soon as you walk out here, you get lost. Like, nah, that's just this place in general. Like, this place is literally like that. And to think that the person who supposedly was searching for the Radiant had some type of connection here in the case of using this place, or being able to come here without any real like consequences is interesting to me. So there's that. The thing with Seth though, which was cool to finally kind of get even more understanding of like where everything's kind of coming from for him, is literally it's oh no, literally it's just seemingly his quote unquote brother that has something to do with this overall notion of this being or this eyeball being inside of Seth. And the way that they put it, they made it sound like this wouldn't even be a thing if the brother, his name starts with a P, but it would not, excuse me, it would not be a problem or a thing supposedly if Seth never had this brother, right? They made it sound like he put this in there because they can sense him. And if you look at, there's a couple of angles they give you of Seth sitting in the ball of, or this energy walls. Um, and when they give you these angles, you can tell that it looks like somebody, like he was already in that ball, and someone like reached out and tried to grab for him, and then maybe not being able to pull him out, it just left this instead. Um, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but from what I can see, it looks like something had latched on to this energy ball and broken in, but couldn't necessarily finish the job or something along those lines. Weird. But yeah, to see someone completely, change from who they are, and then they go from being normal and then they change and they can't really control themselves, really brings me back to Yu Yu Hakusho and the first time he ever transformed and found out that there's somebody in there that really, if they want to and they take over, he has really no control or anything like that going for him in this situation. So that's what I felt with Seth. But even worse, it's like this eye has been spying on him this whole time, and experiencing everything he's experienced. Excuse me. So if you look at it like that, this eye knows just as much about, humans and all that stuff that Seth does, because it's probably been watching, because it's been getting the same treatment as Seth's been getting by being inside of him, right? So that was pretty interesting to see. I almost died in like 3 hits. Are you kidding me? Um, I do love seeing this side of Seth being touched upon, because I honestly didn't know when they were going to do it. At least they're doing it sooner than later. But with all that being said, we're still in a position where we don't really know anything of what could happen for him if he actually understands his transformation, if he actually goes forward and changes everything about himself when it comes down to controlling this being inside of him. Because if he can control him, that's a huge step forward for him just having power in general, him just having control over a lot more situations than he's ever had. And I think that is a really cool point to get to. But of course, we got to have some training montages and some training episodes, which we were already pretty much getting, but it just wasn't training that actually was going to help him with this overall struggle, this internal struggle. And to see him and Melly finally make up was definitely the highlight of the episode, including with him understanding that he's not alone, and if he truly thinks he's alone, oh my god, Ichigo, they nerfed you so hard, you poor, poor guy. Get blasted. Um, it's going to be an interesting change of pace, I feel like. Everything is going to revolve around Seth for a little bit, which is fine by me, which, I mean, he's kind of the main character, but with him training and us seeing this eye, like this eye literally was in a position to not only like experience all of this like camaraderie around it and see who might be potentially a problem in the future for getting rid of, like imagine the eye seeing all this and it's feeling like it's uh, being attacked, in the sense of it now has to change its ways just for Seth. It has to go through some dramatic changes because the person inside has finally seen it, and not only has he seen it, he has people who are teaching him more control to obtain it, which the person who put it there, was that his goal all along, or is this just something that is going to help Seth and put the other guy at a disadvantage if he can't watch Seth the way he is with his power supposedly being inside of Seth right now and having some type of, overall control on him. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I will be dropping some more for you very soon, so I hope you guys enjoy. There's so much to talk about, and I'm at least going to try to get like 3 videos out real quick, so let's see how that works out. With all that being said, take care and peace.